Before we start today's episode, I want to give a few words to one of our sponsors, which is Stutterbox Productions. If you're looking for a solid team of people to get you started with your next gig or event, this is the company to contact. They're actually bringing back Field Trip in September 16th and 17th, and they have plenty more shows lined up. If you guys have not been to Field Trip, that is a blast, legendary, one of the top shows to go to in Iowa. So what are you waiting for? Head over to Stutterbox Productions' Facebook page for all of your needs today. Guerrilla Graphics Design Agency. If you want to plan your next video or project, Guerrilla Graphics Design Agency can provide you with a clean and fresh looking product. Having personally collaborated with this company several times myself, I can say from experience they know their shit, and working with them has been worth every penny. Head over to GuerrillaGraphics.com for all of your design needs today. That's GuerrillaGraphics.com.
Are we rolling right now? Like, is this
I was gonna say, like, we're already like fucking 10 minutes in at this point, but we might as well just introduce the episode. King Serp, ladies and gentlemen.
That's me.
Or maybe we can make the beginning
you there?
Patreon. We'll see.
What's up?
We'll see what happens. It's been a weird journey on the McAllister Hours podcast. It's been a couple episodes now. We've been lost, or have been not there. Field Trip kind of got rained on, and our whole parade got rained on. A lot of episodes, did not make it through the trenches. But we're here. We're back with old returning guest, old ancient. No, I'm kidding. Look at his
King
beard,
Serp, baby.
Look how long his beard is. This guy's at least 50.
I just cut like 3 inches off.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, not the beard, the dick, but I got tired of it. Too big. No, yeah, it was actually probably like 1.5 inches. But man, measuring.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I actually just shaved myself recently. I finally trimmed down.
I fucking just cannot not have a beard. I have to because I'm bald. So like, if I don't, I just look like a fuck. I have a picture. I'll show you.
You don't want to be Joe Rogan.
No, dude. I look silly as hell because I'm too fat to be Joe Rogan. I got him by 10 inches and 60 pounds. Okay.
Dude, I feel like that guy could get fat and nobody would even say anything.
No one,
you know what I mean?
He'd kick the shit out of you. If you said
he still would. He would get that power kick and fucking.
He'd throw that side kick and break
right
my fucking
you,
spine, dude. I didn't know. Thank you, Joe Rogan. I fucking love Joe Rogan though.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Let me ask you this: what do you think of the controversy, the N-word controversy?
N-word controversy. Okay, so I've said it. Probably more than I'm happy to admit that I have, but I've also grown as a person. But at the time when I was saying it,
you're talking about the N-word.
Yeah, the N-word.
Okay, just in general.
Yeah, because I don't know the whole like controversy of what's going on. I know they tried to cancel him because he had said it.
Yeah.
So in my personal perspective, like I had African American friends who like that's just how we talked together, and so I think it's all kind of like I don't think white dudes anybody should really just be going out saying it. But I definitely have been known to say it to certain friends that's just how we talked. That's how we've interacted since I've known them. And I've tried to totally stop that because it has become so much more of a big deal.
Yeah, it really has.
Because back when I was in high school and that's when I was doing it, I mean, I had a guy come up to me and he literally told me to my face. His name's Jerry. He told me to my face, I will not respect you unless you call me it. Damn. And so I was like, okay, I don't feel comfortable doing that. And he like would punk me out, dude, and be like, what's up, bitch? What's up? And like fucking try to fight me and stuff. So finally I just like snapped on him one time and not a hard R. I ate it. Like, and he's like, that's fucking right. And he fucking dapped me up and was like, that's what you are to me. And that's what I am to you. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. And then I got comfortable saying it with him, which is not good because then it like slipped a couple times when it shouldn't have. And like I said, I've grown as a person. That was when I was like 16. I'm 26 now. So
sure, I
try to avoid it at all costs now. And even like when I'm like listening to music, if I'm by myself in the car, I'm like, maybe the feds are listening in on this shit. King Serp's got fucking 15 listeners on Spotify. We might as well monitor what he says.
So you're not dropping it when you're listening to? Do you mute yourself, or do you just going? You just saying it?
If I'm in my car alone, I say it.
Yeah, same here. Like I actually saw a TikTok where like
I know Bert Kreischer does too. Just throwing it out there.
hey, you know what? Chris Rock said it's okay. Hey. That's my argument. If Chris Rock gave me permission, I have permission to say the N-word when I'm in my car by myself listening to rap music.
And Chris Rock ain't a bitch, dude. Will Smith smacked him and he was like, "What's up with you?"
Dude, I want to see the return
in that fight. They should do a celebrity boxing match with just them. And Will Smith better come out and his boxing gloves better have Jada's face on them.
Dude, how have they not hopped on the idea yet? Dude, that's like, it's the perfect time.
It was set up for them. They didn't even have to do shit. They just had to be like, these two dudes fucking hate each other. Let them punch each other in the fucking face. Like, just let it go. And they're like, no. Bitch, shut up. Just let them do it. I'd rather them sanction it than do it in the fucking streets or at the Oscars or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah. Here's the problem with that show, though. It would be all black people. No. White people would like have their lawyers. It's like their lawyers go in the ring.
You ever listen to Donald Glover stand up?
Oh yeah, for
it'd
sure.
be like a reverse Kanye concert.
I don't remember that bit.
He's talking about how like when his mom, he wanted Cocoa Puffs when they were at the store and they would only let him get kicks. And so his mom bought him kicks and Cocoa Puffs and then dumped out like all of the bag of Cocoa Puffs except for like a quarter and then mixed it together and shook it up and he's like, it's like a Kanye concert in there. Dude, this little dog's just staring at me and I love it.
Yeah, what's her deal? She like never walks around.
Dude, it's like somebody stepped on her earlier. She's fucking asking me for safety. Shit.
Yeah, man, I'm a fucking awful pet owner.
Yeah, dude. Not you, just me too. I relate. That sounded too much like I was talking shit.
That's funny.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, man. Well, we're fucking stacked with 3 animals. This is great content, by the way. We're stacked with,
oh, fuck me.
3 animals. Yeah, this shit's
That's
fucking
no fucking joke.
Scotch, man. I'm gonna do just another little half pour here.
I actually ate before I came because I was like, man, in case I drink, I better fucking be a little bit sobered up.
Yeah, I took an Addy today, so I ate earlier.
I had a big problem with Addie for a while.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, plus I dated a girl named Addie when I was like in 5th grade, so we've just never got along. That's not even a joke.
That's funny. Yeah, I never fucked with Coke because I took Focal. Not that I use Adderall like Coke, but like people would, like the recreational aspect of Coke. But Focal's like in the same family as cocaine.
Yeah.
So I'd always get like a fucking my stomach would get sick, and I just didn't like how it made me feel. So that's always deterred me from trying Coke.
I've been offered Coke so many times, and everybody's like, you can try it once and you'll be fine. But one, scared of fentanyl.
That's a huge one for me too.
They call that shit the chocolate chip cookie of drugs because there might only be a little chocolate chip of it in that fucking booger sugar, but you're getting fucking killed if you get it. So I'm like, no. But also, I have such an addictive personality that I'd just be fucked.
Same.
I'm always worried that I fucking ingest too much weed in my life, and then I'm like, you know what? 30 milligrams a night's not that bad. I was doing like 100 a day at one point.
God damn, dude. That's insane.
Yeah, I was throwing back really high dose edibles for a while. Just in then chilling. I could function. I could function on probably up to about 75 at the time. And then we were like, that's too much. We should probably cut back. And we took a tolerance break and went to Colorado, and then I smoked the best weed in my life.
Colorado does have the best weed.
Dude, we got we had some carts that we got, and they were like half-gram carts. We would take 2 puffs off it and just be on the fucking moon, dude. I don't know. And I fuck with edibles mostly now. I don't know.
Why is that? Is it for your lungs, or you just like how it feels better?
Yeah, I like the way it feels more. And I was actually just talking to my fiance about this the other day today, I think the reason I like edibles so long is because so much is because they last so much longer. Like if I pop an edible, I'm good for 6 hours. If I smoke a joint, I'm good for 2.5. And I like to be fucking skyrocketed when I'm high. I don't like that like borderline kind of fucked up thing. It's just not enough because I'm a weirdo. I would rather fucking meet the devil.
God damn, dude.
I don't know, dude. And I'm never afraid to like. I had one really bad experience with edibles where I took 75 milligrams, and the highest amount I'd ever taken before that was like 25. So I like didn't know what I was expecting, and I just fucking dropped back 75. I talked about that on the 420 podcast, where it was like the worst time I've ever had. And then the one time we had these ones that were 105 milligrams each, and we took one of those, and it was awesome. And I was like, this is fucking dope. And the next day I was like, what happens if we take 2? And so we took 210 milligrams at like 6 o'clock at night. And then I was up till like 3 in the morning, just fucking faded. And I was like laying on my back on the bed, literally having to like, talk with myself, like in my head, going over all the fuck shit I did when I was a kid. And like meeting myself and like coming to terms with like my demons and shit. It was fucking like a great experience. It was scary, but it was great. My fucking heart was going like a million miles an hour. And I was just laying there, and I'm like, I just have to get through this by myself. And then it like was over, and I just stood up, and I was like, all right, let's go to bed. I don't know.
Then you smoke crack in the next morning.
Oh, fuck. So I don't know if that story is going to be included, but yeah, I accidentally smoked crack one time. And salvia, both on accident.
That's right, because we cut. I'm sorry, dude.
I don't know if that's going to be cut or not. Yeah, but so somebody melted crack rocks into e-liquid. And at the time I was a competitive cloud chaser. So I like traveled all over the state of Iowa and like tried to blow the biggest cloud, which sounds like the dumbest shit now that I'm like 5 years older. But this guy melted crack rocks into his e-liquid, and then he let me use it and didn't tell me that there was crack in it. And then I was just fucking blasted off on crack. And that was like not my favorite experience I've ever had in my life, but made me not want to do crack. So I mean, what's wrong with that?
Well, meth. You ever try meth?
No, dude, but here's another crazy story about somebody accidentally doing drugs. I used to work with this lady who did meth, and she had a Juul, and she'd pop her Juul pods open and drop a little shard of meth down into her Juul pod. And somebody was like, oh man, I've never hit a Juul before. I've been thinking about getting one. Can I try it? And she's like, yeah, whatever. And just gave it to him, and they fucking ripped it, and it had meth in it.
Did he tweak?
I don't know.
No idea.
Not my problem. And we never realized it until we like got back to where we were going, and I was like, hold on. Homie just fucking hit that? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, do you remember what you put in there? And they're like, oh fuck. And they like freaked out. They were like, felt terrible about it. Because I don't give a fuck, dude. I've seen so many people do like really hard drugs around me. What am I going to do about it? Be like, don't do that.
See, I kind of agree. I think there's like, you know, I don't know if this was before, but we, you know, talking about legalization, like, I think it's a lot of it is just like social stereotype.
It really is.
Like if someone's like smoking a meth pipe on their front porch, I don't inherently think that that's bad.
Yeah.
I think it depends. Like, you know, if that person is, you know, doing something violent or, you know, bad in some way while using the substance, then like then that person's doing a bad thing. But like people correlate it too much.
They really do. And a lot of drugs have such a negative stereotype. And I'm going to fumble this one a little bit. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's like a professor at like some Ivy League
I know who
school.
and
he loves...
Carl Hart?
That might be.
Or not, or...
He loves heroin. That's all I know.
I know I know exactly who you're talking about. He's a smart guy.
And he talks about it, and he goes, I love the way it makes me feel. It makes me a better husband. It makes me a better lover. It makes me a better father. I think one of my homies he's a recovered now, but he was a big drug addict. And one time he told me, I do drugs. I don't let the drugs do me. And that like changed my perspective on how I like looked at a lot of like, it's kind of like I said, I take a lot of milligrams of edibles a day, usually. Mm-hmm. I mean, 30 to most people is not really that much, or to some people it wouldn't be that much, but I never use while I'm at work. I never use if I know that I'm going to be driving. I never use when I'm like in a circumstance that I shouldn't be using in. It's always just purely when I'm hanging out at my house, get home from work, pop a couple edibles, chill out on the couch, watch a movie, make some food. Like, I'm not bothering anybody. I'm not doing anything to myself. and I'm not letting it get in the way of my life where I'm like, I have to be fucked up right now. Like, it's just, I keep a very good, like, tight leash on how much I use because of that. Because he said, I don't let drugs do me, I do the drugs. And ever since then, I kind of was like, what's the problem with federally legalizing all drugs? Like, there really isn't a downside to it, because you don't necessarily, I don't mean like people should be like smoking a meth pipe on their front porch, but if they're a drug addict and they need to go to a treatment center, there needs to be like an understanding of like benzodiazepines, like Xanax and roofies and stuff like that. Like, you can die from withdrawals. So alcohol, you can die from withdrawals, and alcohol's fucking legal.
Cheers.
But so I've always kind of looked at it as like a situation of more like a resource, like, and with moderation. Everything in moderation is okay as long as you're not overdoing it, except for racism and homophobia. Don't be either of those.
We promote both those on the podcast, actually.
No, but I hate the idea of someone losing their entire fucking life because they made a bad decision. Like, I wouldn't do meth, but that doesn't mean my friend who's a recovering addict, like, is a bad guy because he did drugs. Like, that's stupid. One of my good friends, I've known him since preschool, started doing meth when he was like 16, and I fucking was his friend from day one till now that he's been like 5-6 years sober. I think he's 6 years this year. And I don't judge him for it because, like, he's still a fucking good friend, and he's always been a good friend. There's never been an issue where I'm like, blah, blah, so-and-so fucking is all spun out. And no, it's just he made a choice that he fucking dealt with, and now it's over. And I don't think anybody else should have to be afraid of, like, admitting that they are on drugs and worrying about not being able to get a job, blah, blah.
I agree.
And I did just see a thing that, what state was it? Just legal, or made it so it's a recreational state with marijuana, and now they've made it where your job can't fire you for using marijuana.
I think I read that. That might be. I think it's either Colorado or it's either Colorado, Oregon, or Washington. One of those three states for sure.
I'm like, in my head, I'm going, if weed's recreationally legal here, why are we fucking still firing people over it? Like, that's dumb as fuck. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm getting fake deep right now, even though it's something I genuinely care about.
No, I look, I agree with everything you're saying. Like, I think what it really comes down to when people have a problem with drugs, and people are probably going to disagree with this as well, but, like, I think a lot of it has to do with social, like, the social stereotypes and the social stigma. Like, people that use heroin and meth, they use that stuff knowing that there is a stigma on it.
Yeah.
That people are going to look at it, if they admit to them, I use this substance, that they're going to be, excommunicated from groups, possibly fired from their job. Possibly people are going to try to throw them in rehab. We have legal issues. There's a whole abundance of things just from using a substance.
And
it's bullshit.
On the line of, like, legalizing everything, I don't think that, like, you should just be, like, smoking a meth pipe or, like, banging heroin on your front porch. But there should be a safe zone for people to go where, like, everybody's so worried about finding fucking heroin needles in the parks and shit. Well, if there's a safe place for them to go use safely, be supplied needles and everything to make sure it was clean and hygienic and they weren't fucking passing HIV and fucking, like, all those bloodborne diseases. Sure, they weren't passing that. Like, if there was just a safe spot where somebody could go and be like, I'm a heroin addict, I need to bang some heroin right now. Like, monitor me, make sure I don't fucking OD. Okay. That's how, in my opinion, that's how it would be the same as a fucking bar. You go to a bar and the bartender quits serving you when you're too fucked up. Like, you should be able to go to a place and have medical supervision where you can take an opiate and get that what you need out of it without it fucking affecting, like, you have to worry about dying or, like, any of that shit. Because most people don't even know that, like, if you OD, if you're with somebody who ODs and you call the police, they can't arrest you for being there. They can't arrest you for any of that. They can't. It's purely, there's a law. I can't think of what it's called. But you can't be arrested for calling if somebody ODs, but most people don't know that. So somebody ODs and then they fucking don't know what to do because they don't want to get in trouble. And it's like, you won't get in trouble for calling for help. And I just think that needs to be negated by having a safe place for people to use.
Yeah, but they could, if they had something on them, they can still get arrested for that, though.
Yeah, you could get like possession charges, but I don't think, fuck, what is it?
I mean, that's probably the deterrent. I mean, that's probably why, because you can still get that charge. You know what I mean? That's probably why people aren't calling that stuff in.
100% serious. I knew heroin addicts, and the one OD'd and their heart stopped, and they fucking hit him with Narcan, and it wouldn't work. The only way they got their heart started again was they shot him with a shot full of meth directly into the chest.
Damn. That's crazy, dude.
Because they didn't want to call the cops. They just carried Narcan on him in case somebody OD'd. And so they Narcaned him twice. Didn't work. So they fucking shot him in the heart with a syringe full of meth and restarted their heart.
Yeah. Well, that's the crazy thing about heroin, too, is like it's like super easy usually to like prevent an OD. It's literally just a shot. And like a lot of the reason why people OD usually is because they're getting their drugs through the black market, and it's mixed with fentanyl and all sorts of shit, yeah. or they're not properly educated on their drugs, yeah. So they're combining drugs that have deadly effects.
Yeah, and
you know, I think promoting education should be the important thing that for people to look into.
Drug safety and education is probably one of the biggest things that I believe should be taught more. I think the DARE program is kind of fucking silly. And I don't think they should be teaching you that. They should definitely... I'm not saying I think drugs are good, but I don't think they're as bad as everyone makes them out to be. But the DARE program's like, fuck all drugs, nothing, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, okay, well, what about like Tylenol? What about caffeine? What about this, that, and the other thing? I think DARE needs to teach more of the like safety side of like using and how to safely use if you do. Maybe not to like fucking fifth graders who are like, I don't even know what this is, but like, I feel like
sure, there's a line, right?
Yeah, I think drug safety should be something that's actually taught. Maybe high school like time frame. Once you're a little older and your brain kind of has that time, and that's, I mean, high school is when you start experimenting. I mean, I smoked weed the first time when I was like 16, and I didn't fucking know what I was getting into. I had no idea. I mean, no one knows what they're getting into the first time they get blackout drunk. They don't, and they're not teaching the safety side of like how to safely do any of this. So people that aren't experienced go out and say they're drinking. If I went out and I smashed this whole bottle of scotch by myself because I've never drank before, I'm probably going to be so fucked up. And I would just...
That's my last one. Probably not. But...
this might have to be mine, dude. It's a little fucking spicy.
Yeah, dude. I feel like you brought a loaded gun into a podcast. This isn't. I'm kidding. What were you saying? Sorry.
Fuck me, dude. Something about drug safety. No, drug safety should 100% be taught at some point to growing minds that don't know the safe way to go about things. That should be the safety of how to drink properly. Because if you're drinking, like I said, if you could drink that whole thing and die if you're not used to it. I mean, I know a guy that was drinking a Texas Fifth of like whiskey a day, and he's like now a recovered former alcoholic.
Yeah.
But so if you're not used to it and it's the first time you're partying and somebody goes, well, here's a line of blow. Do you want a line of blow? And you're like, yeah, that sounds fucking cool. And you do a line. Well, cocaine mixes poorly with alcohol and can actually poison your system. So like you could die and you don't even know it because they don't teach you that. They just tell you not to do it, which I agree. People shouldn't really be doing like really crazy hard drugs.
But it doesn't work.
But it doesn't work to just tell them not to, because I don't know if everybody's like me, but if somebody says don't do this, I'm probably going to fucking do it.
It's human nature, man.
It really is. And I think drug safety needs to be more taught and more focused on than just purely saying don't do it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, look at that scenario with heroin, right? If that person takes heroin while they're drinking, they're dead. Like instantly.
Yeah.
Gone.
And I know cocaine and alcohol mix super poorly together, and everybody's like, I like to do coke when I drink because then I don't get as drunk as fast. And I'm like, yeah, but it's really bad for your liver.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Like, it's actually deadly if I'm correct. I don't know.
Yeah. I take Adderall like 1 to 3 times a week usually.
Yeah.
Which it's not a ton. Usually it's more like on the 1 to 2. But I do kind of worry about, because we don't really know the long-term effects of that. I do worry if that's going to have like a certain effect on me.
I love Adderall too much. I can't even fuck around with it. I went to my high school. I graduated high school. I hadn't slept in 36 hours because I took like 3 time release tablets at once.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, I partied hard as fuck that night.
See, I've never gotten to the point where I've abused it. I think that's been the difference. I've always taken the medicated dose.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I mean, that plays into like drug safety. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just at a party and somebody's like, hey, you want some Adderall? And I was like, yeah. And they fucking gave me one. And I was like, haha, that was cool. When's it going to work? And then they were like, oh, it hasn't worked yet. Take another one. And then I was like, hey, let me see that real quick. And I smashed one up and I snorted it. But what's the difference? I partied really hard that night. I went to my graduation just high as giraffe pussy, dude.
High as giraffe pussy, dude. What the fuck is it with you and your expression?
Have you never heard that?
No.
That's how
Is that a legit thing?
Yeah. I say it all the time. I don't know if it's a real thing, but I heard somebody say high as eagle pussy one time, and I was like, all right.
Just make it giraffe.
But I mean, those fuckers are pretty high up there. I actually get worried about giraffes when I watch babies be born. Not human babies, but giraffe babies. When I watch them like fucking be born, they fall like 6 feet. And I'm like, those motherfuckers are going to snap their neck. They can't even stand up yet. That's how fast my fucking mind changes. Go from drugs to giraffes falling out.
Dude, giraffes doing cocaine, that would take a while for them. Like, trying to do coke as a giraffe would suck, right? Like, because coke is pretty instant, from what I understand, right? Like, it's
I've never done it, so I don't know. But everybody I know says
that would take forever to get to your heart. Those bitches are there like an hour. It's like acid for them. Like an hour later, they're just like, "Come on, man,
dude,
let me get my buzz, man."
Do you know giraffes have the same number of vertebrae as humans?
Damn, no.
They're just really big.
Huh? That's interesting.
Also, another random fucking animal fact for you. Did you know the average gazelle can jump higher than a house? It's because of their powerful back legs and the fact a house can't jump.
God damn it, dude. But so while we're in this weird fucking rant here, you were saying that you apparently saw a UFO,
dude,
an unidentified flying object.
I 100%. I had goosebumps when I saw it because it was like, it's so hard to describe too because like it was so foreign. You know, usually if somebody's like, oh, I saw a UFO, it's like some lights in the sky type shit. That is not what this was at all. It made me more worried that aliens aren't extraterrestrial and they're extra dimensional. Like that they're from like the 4th dimension and they're just constantly around us and they only like accidentally expose themselves to us.
So like they just kind of like tune in type of deal.
Yeah, because if they're in the 4th dimension, we can't see them, but they could be right here watching us fucking do this. Like we can't see them, but that doesn't mean they can't see us because we can see 1-dimensional and 2-dimensional. But we can see 1st, 2nd, and 3rd dimension, but we can't see 4th. So if they're 4th, they can see 3rd, 2nd, 1st, and 4th. So what happened though when I saw it? I was driving, and it was just kind of a cloudy day. It would have been Tuesday morning. It was just kind of cloudy out, and I was just looking up at the horizon, and I saw this like reflective square, and it just looked like the most stereotypical like invisibility cloak you've ever seen. And it just rotated, and I could see it rotate. It's so hard to describe. It was like I was looking at a flat surface, and it was just the cloud, and then it turned, and as it turned black, and it went like 360 all the way around, and then it just fucking like was gone. So it made me worried that like it just opened up into another dimension in the middle of the sky, and I was like tripping out, and I was like, am I high right now? But I was not. I was freaking the fuck out, dude, because it was literally like, it just looked like a silver square that was in the sky that just like rotated really, really slowly. And then it was just like, it went all the way around, and it's so hard to describe because it was like, it's so foreign of an idea. I don't even really know how to like put it into words of how I saw it like move. I'm trying to do it with my hand. So it was like flat, and then I could see it like the shadow of it turn more than I could see anything. And it just looked like it opened like a black hole in the sky for like 3 seconds, and then it was gone. but it was like not like the sun peeked through the sky. It was like black. It went from like the cloud to just this like black void to then being back to the cloud. And it was fucking bizarre.
Damn.
I'm breathing really heavy right now and I'm worried about it.
You're worried they're just gonna zoom right now and just take you?
No, dude. Like I'm, I'm like sitting really close to the microphone so everything picks up all right, and I'm like just breathing really heavy. I was watching Cops, dude.
Oh fuck! I love having you on, bro. So let me ask you this: talking about like, I've never seen. By the way, I've never seen a UFO. I think that's, I don't know. You might be the first person I've ever talked to that's had a UFO experience.
Because I feel like most people that are like I said, you can say, "Oh, I saw a UFO," and it's usually just some fucking lights in the sky or some silly shit.
Yeah.
This was so. It wasn't just like lights. It was so bizarre and so foreign that it's like, it's literally impossible for me to like put it into perspective of like how I felt seeing it, because without seeing it, you would never really be able to like truly understand it. When I first saw it, I thought somebody was like parachuting, because it kind of looked like a parachute in a way, with just kind of how it moved. Like it was an all black parachute, but then it was a perfect square and it just disappeared. It was, and it lasted like 3 or 4 seconds probably. And like I said, it was just almost like a hole opened in the sky and it just like went into it and was gone.
That's crazy, dude.
It fucking tripped me out. I had like goosebumps and I was like shitting my pants driving. I'm like,
so you were driving when you saw it?
Yeah, dude. I was so I drive for work, and I was on my way to my first place that I was working at for the day, and I saw it. I was headed towards Knoxville. So if anyone here listens and they're from Knoxville, let me know if you saw this fucking weird object in the sky. King Serp.
King Serp. drop your tag.
King Serp music on all major social media. I don't have social media anymore except for Facebook.
So let me ask you this question, because
Yes,
this is a theory about UFOs that I wonder about. The idea that it's possibly government utilizing technology that we've discovered in the last century.
I 100% would believe it. I do, because I've always heard the saying that what we see from the military now is from 20 years ago. But also, I believe in Bob Lazar, and he was back engineering UFOs back in the Dizzy, dude. So maybe they actually have alien craft.
I mean, it could be both. You know, that's a possibility.
I do firmly believe. Like I said,
water.
Oh yeah, I'll take a water. Like I said, I like firmly believe now that it's not necessarily we have to worry about extraterrestrial, but like extra dimensional. That like it's not something that we're gonna ever like truthfully encounter because we can't get to the fourth dimension. But I don't know.
So let me ask you. So you believe that there's like, I think, isn't it? They said there's like 20 plus dimensions. Like, do you think that there's like it goes in that order? Or do you think it's like multi-dimensional, where there's like multiple different realities that you could, like almost like a tree?
I've never really thought of it that way, but I guess if there, I mean, I've never really heard how many like truthful dimensions there are. I feel like they could realistically kind of go on forever in a roundabout way.
Someone said in this podcast, I think it's like 20 plus.
Yeah, so I mean, if there's 20 dimensions, I feel like stuff that would be interfering in human life would have to be more than just the fourth dimension, because like I always kind of joke about it. Like I think about it a lot, honestly. And I'm always talking to my woman. I'll be like, dude, what if there's like some fourth dimensional, like cute little ass rabbit that's just sitting right next to you? And she's like, I hope there is. But I feel like stuff that's like just slightly above us doesn't give a fuck about it. Like I don't give a fuck about a 2D drawing.
Right.
But I think once you would get to the point of being like 10th dimension, 20th dimension, you'd be looking back going, okay, these motherfuckers are doing something. Like, what are they doing? Kind of in the same realm where they think that like the reason there was such an uptick in UFO sightings after World War II was because they're like, oh, these motherfuckers have nuclear weapons now. Like, what's going on with that? So they're like, because I kind of believe in like, I don't know if you know, like the Anunnaki, stuff like that.
Not familiar with that.
The Anunnaki, I think it's Sumerian, ancient Sumerian texts. They said that like there was gods from the sky that came down and bred with apes, and that's how humans were made. And like they have like a lot of drawings of like humanoids that still have like tails and stuff, and they think that's like the middle of like where humans came from, is these like aliens from I can't think of where they're from, but they're called the Anunnaki. I have a very weird storage of shit in my head, and then I totally just always lose where I'm going.
I fucking love it, man. You and I are on the same fucking plane, man.
I'll just get to going all the time, and I'll just be talking, and then I'll stop, and people are like, okay, and I'm like, no, I was just done with my thought. And they're like, you didn't finish it, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's just where it goes.
I got bored. Yeah.
My brain goes like 400 million miles an hour, dude. Like, I think of stuff and then it's just gone. Like, if I don't speak and like trail off on something, it's just going to be lost to time forever. And I don't know. I'm just hoping that this makes good content, because I feel like last time I was so fucking ripped.
No, the episode was fun as fuck, man.
It was hilarious. I went back and listened to it multiple times. One of my friends listened to it and they're like, where's this guy from? And I was like, Des Moines, why? And they're like, it reminds me of JRE. And I was like, it's the JRE of Iowa, baby.
I love that. I actually recently denounced that in a recent podcast, because I was like, I'm better than that. But I mean, I'll take it. I'll take JRE of Iowa.
Dude, JRE, I feel like even though it's the biggest podcast in the world, it's like really not the best podcast in the world. It's the biggest, but I wouldn't say it's the best.
I think it's decreased in quality significantly since the Spotify move.
It really has. And like, especially when he had like Zuckerberg on the other day, and you could tell how fucking like dancing around on it he was.
Okay, I will give him credit. I think he pressed him probably the best I've seen Zuckerberg on a podcast. And like, I appreciate that he did ask about like the Biden stuff. I think that was an important question.
He definitely,
but yeah, he could have definitely pressed more on that. He could have. I don't know if you've seen it. There's a clip of like they're talking about like Boeing, like the plane company, and Rogan just like cuts off. He's like, nope, like stop. Knock it off.
I did not see that.
Yeah, dude, look it up.
I'll have to.
I think there's some big questions of like censorship.
I think there has to be.
And to be fair, I think he really does his best to work with it, and you have to understand he is running a business. That's something I've experienced personally, kind of in the last like 6 months. It's like, when you're like in a business and you're doing stuff, there does need to be some censorship. Like, I understand, but also like the grassroots of how that show started, like it really was like a blow to the audience, like the grassroots audience of like, fuck this, like, no censorship, like all bars going ahead. Alex Jones, anyone, you know what I mean? He still has Alex Jones on, but
I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I fucking love Alex Jones. I don't believe a goddamn word he says, but I love him.
Thank you. I feel the exact same way. Like, he's clearly like an alcoholic and crazy and full of shit, but goddamn, is he entertaining as fuck?
Dude, you get him and Tim Dillon in the same room, and I will watch that shit for fucking days.
He's been on a show.
Yeah, he did. I know he was on JRE together, and it was fucking fantastic. Dude. Tim Dillon is so funny, and he's so quick on his feet. And then Alex Jones is just fucking. I don't believe a single fucking word he says. But like, this whole time he's been on trial, I've been like fighting with my parents about it, because they're like, he's such a piece of shit, and I'm like, yeah, but he's funny. Yeah, but look at how he talked about Sandy Hook. And I'm like, he really didn't. All he said is that he didn't believe it, and that his fans are the ones that went fucking crazy.
Yeah. Here's the thing about Alex Jones. He took an L with Sandy Hook. I think he will even admit that.
Yeah, he took a big fat L, dude.
Big fat L. But you know what? He was talking about Epstein fucking 15 years before that shit happened.
Dude, he was...
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then kind of on, I think it was on, I don't want to keep talking about JRE, but when he was on JRE, he like brought up something about like this really weird, was it Kentucky? The Kentucky governor? It was some governor of somewhere where like they were talking about the abortions.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And he was thing was really eerie. Like, he actually is like right about that.
He's like talking about how they'll have a baby be born, like they'll like force it to be born early, and then they like keep it alive until they find the best possibility. Like, that's fucking weird. Even if
that's some X-Files shit, bro.
Yeah, it's fucking creepy. Real. And the way he talks about it, and the guy's voice is just so creepy too. Like, that doesn't help.
Yeah, I remember. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, that clip was just, yeah, it's crazy. It really is crazy. Like,
because he says something about like, because we take the babies and we keep them warm and comfortable until we find out what we're going to do with them. And you're like, that's fucking weird.
Your eyebrows raised like, ooh, this is juicy.
Why are you keeping them alive?
Yeah, dude.
Send them to fucking McDonald's to mix into their burgers.
You know how funny that would be if that was the actual conspiracy?
Okay, look,
it was just going to McDonald's chicken nuggets. Like, that'd be so funny. I would laugh. It'd be awful, but I'd laugh.
Let's start it. 4chan, here we come.
We're diving deep. No, fuck 4chan. We're going to 16chan, man. We're fucking diving
shit.
deep.
Is that 4chan squared, or is that a totally different thing?
Well, so I don't know how far they went. I know there's an 8chan. There's an 8chan. I feel like I've heard of a 12chan.
8chan sounds pretty stupid.
It really does.
4chan was such a classic like name, and then you're like, do you know what would be really cool if we were double the cringe? Fuck off.
Yeah, 4chan was, 4chan was the true wild, wild west of the internet.
I remember hearing about 4chan for the first time. I was probably like in 6th grade, and
we were. What were you born?
96.
Okay, I was born just a year before you, but so yeah, that same era.
95. Fuck you, 95ers.
What's wrong with 95?
I don't know. A lot of my favorite people are born in 95.
Oh, for real?
You, Dirt Lord. Dirt Lord's my favorite person on earth, I think.
He's the shit, man.
Dude, we played D&D together the other day, and we were both fucking fried.
Dude, I can't get into D&D.
It was my first campaign ever. I mean,
for real? Like, you just got into it?
Yeah. So my fiance's always been into it, and she's been like, come on, let's just try it. And I was like, no, it's not really I'm not really that creative. And so she finally, like, one day's like, just look it up. Like, look up something. And so I watched, like, a podcast about it. And I was like, this is fucking really cool. And I was like, so I started talking to her, and I was like, well, I want to be a necromancer. Can I be a necromancer? And she goes, yeah, there's no reason you couldn't. So I built this fucking necromancer character, and I think
of every time I hear necromancer.
What? Better be an ICP lyric, because that's what I think about.
Probably the necrophile. Ted Bundy-esque.
I love Ted Bundy.
That's a hot take, man. Why do you love Ted Bundy?
Not that I actually love him, but like, I mean, he's just a good-looking dude that just killed a lot of women, and then they're like, maybe he didn't. Hoes were still lining up to fuck him while he was in prison. Same with Charles Manson, dude. It's crazy.
That shit's crazy.
The fact there's people who want to like fuck people who like murdered like bunches of people. I won't say hundreds, but like tons of people. Like, it's fucking nuts.
It really comes from the same hive mind of like all these women who watch the murder shows and stuff.
My sister, fuck you, Harley. Every camera. You and your fucking murder shows. Let dad watch Hyperdrive, goddammit. He wants to watch car shows, not fucking serial killers raping people. I don't know which one you're going to camera this from, but fuck you.
We'll switch between all. We'll just do we'll do a round. We'll do a round right now. We'll just round.
On the real, I fucking love my sister. She's in a wheelchair.
That's a good segue. Let's get into you just.
That wasn't even intentional. I just like to talk shit about her. I call her Wheels, and sometimes she calls me the leg man. And so, like, I'll ride on the back of her chair and act like I'm walking. I'll be like, like, Wheels and the leg man, dude.
Do you ever tire to the back of your car?
No. So, for the longest time, all I wanted her to do was tow me around on a fucking rolling chair. And she's like, I'm not doing that. And I'm like, Harley, quit being a fucking bitch and just let me hold on to the back of your chair while you pull me around. And she's like, it's not funny. And I'm like, it is, though. And now she lets me do it. We fucking, like, she has this scooter. It was supposed to be her backup, like, in case, like, we couldn't take, like, our handicap accessible vehicle somewhere, because she's in a power chair, not just a wheelchair, like a power chair. And so we got this, like, motorized scooter, and that fucker is fast. Like, it's scary, because if you're, like, full throttle in it and you turn, you're flipping it. Like, it's like a three-wheeler, dude. Just dangerous. And so we were like cutting donuts and shit one time together, and I wanted to like run out on like a wet floor with it and like fucking drift it around a cone or something. I want her to start her own podcast called Let's Keep It Rolling. I pitched that idea to her because, I mean, she's like her and her best friend are both in wheelchairs. My sister has muscular dystrophy, and her best friend has OI, which is brittle bone disease. Osteogenesis imperfecta, if you want the full title of it. And they're fucking both like just crazy. And I was telling you earlier, I went viral on TikTok the other day, and that's why. Because they flew down to Houston, Texas, and when they laid over in Dallas, they forgot to put their chairs on the next airplane. And so they like got to Houston and then like got stuck there because they couldn't leave.
Damn.
Yeah, and I went on a big ass rant, dude, the other day. And I think I'm pretty much going to step forward to just doing like ADA advocacy now. Because being a disabled female, you don't have the voice. As sad as that is, you don't have the voice as a disabled female as me as an able-bodied white man.
Well, yeah, you can't stand, you know. That doesn't help.
Oh, fuck.
You know.
God damn it. No. That's some shit that I would say, and then everyone would be like, Jesus Christ, but you just fucking went out on a limb and just did it. I appreciate it. Okay, and
Cheers, man.
I'm empty, but I'll still cheers you. Take a sip of water. But, yeah, so I don't know. I feel like as a straight white male that's able-bodied, I have a better voice to talk about some of the stuff that they would go unnoticed if they tried to talk about it themselves. And the almost 300,000 views on that video where people are like, oh man, fuck American Airlines. Fuck you, American Airlines. That was actually in the message they sent them to be like, we're so sorry, is their social media team saw how big the video was.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And then like the next day after that happened to them, like they fucking lost somebody else's on their way from LAX to Miami.
Oh, wow, for real? That's crazy.
Yeah, so they lost my sister and her friend. They lost both of them in Dallas. They were flying to Houston, and then they refused to deliver them to them that night. They told them there was another flight coming in, and they were like, we'll put them on that flight. And then they're like, oh, never mind. We're not going to put them on that flight. And I'm like, oh, cool. And so I made a TikTok video about it, talking mad shit about American Airlines, and then it blew up. And now their social media team is watching my video to make sure that they're not getting too much negative publicity. Fuck you, American Airlines.
How long ago is this?
Like 2 days ago. Just
Okay,
kidding. It wasn't
fine.
like 2 days ago. It was like last week. I think it's like 7 days old now.
Okay.
And it's went viral like 3 times. That's what's kind of crazy is when I made it and I just went to sleep and I woke up the next day and it was at like 50,000 views. And I was like, holy shit, that's a lot, but it's like getting the message out there good. And then I went to work. And as I was working, my phone just was fucking going nuts. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I pull it out and it's just TikTok notifications. And I look at it and it's like 110,000 views. And I was like, holy shit. And then the next day, it was at like 225. And I'm like, 225,000 views is a lot of fucking views. And it kind of stopped after that. And then like 2 days ago, it went up to 250,000. So it like popped another like 25,000 out of nowhere. And I was like, okay, another 25,000. That's really cool. And it's really getting like my message out there because like it's something that I'm very passionate about because I see all the struggles that like most people aren't exposed to like disabled people. And I grew up around it with not only my sister, my grandma was a double amputee who was also in a wheelchair.
Oh, okay.
So I've just been exposed to it since I was little. So I feel like I have the voice to like talk, and I had the following, and it wasn't even a crazy following. I had like 300 followers on TikTok. I thought I was going to get like 1,000 views on it or whatever. And when it blew up, I was like, oh my God, like this is making a big difference. And then, yeah, it is. I don't even know where I was going with that, but
Oh, what was that? Oh, that was the fucking. I was just thinking, is that gonna die at some point? That was just a GoPro. My bad.
I broke a GoPro one time.
Oh, for real?
On like the third time I used it. My mom was mad as hell, dude. I got that from Christmas. Or I got that on Christmas from Santa Claus.
Sorry, Santa. Shout out to Santa Claus.
Here's the funny thing. It was 100% my fault. We put 10 pounds of tannerite. I don't know if you know what tannerite is. It's like a low-level blasting explosive that's like in a tub, and then you shoot it, and it fucking blows up. We had 10 pounds, and we put the GoPro on top of the container to like, we were like, oh yeah, it's gonna fucking blow up into the sky, and we're gonna get this crazy visual. Nope, just blew it up. Praise GoPro. It was in one piece. It just recorded everything in purple after that. Couldn't get a non-purple video to save our life, but
worth it, man.
Worth it.
Worth it. In my line of work in video production, worth it. The shot, he knows the shot could be worth more than the camera.
Here's the thing, dude. That video sucked because it just was the camera getting. No, you know what? I don't even think we didn't set the camera on top of it. The camera was like 5 feet away from it. It was the shock wave because it was a fucking lot of tannerite. I think you're like only really supposed to have 5 pounds of it at a time, and like me and all my friends just went and all bought 2 pounds because we were hood rats. We were blowing up TVs and microwaves and shit.
What's tannerite? Is that?
It's like silica beads, I think, and then it's got like silver nitrate, if I'm correct, and you mix it all together, and that like the silver nitrate's really flammable, and it makes like a pressure explosive. So when you shoot it, it just fucking blows up. It's like the velocity of the bullet hitting it just blows up. So not only was I fucking blowing up next to my camera, I was shooting at it. But we used to do that shit all the time.
Goddamn, dude. That
perks of growing up in the country. We just do whatever the fuck we wanted.
Yeah, dude. Do you like go hunting or anything like that? Do you go to the range?
I love shooting, and I love like I'm a really I feel like this is really cocky, but I'm a good archer. Like I was always big into bow hunting, or not bow hunting, but like shooting archery. Mm-hmm. I used to hunt a lot, and I wouldn't even necessarily call it hunting, but like we had a really bad ground squirrel problem at our house for a while where they were like tearing up our yard all fucking crazy. And I used to just cap those motherfuckers all day.
It's great, dude. I can totally see you like just.
And it was even better because I had like a lever action. It was a lever action 22 that my grandpa bought. It was the first gun my grandpa ever bought for himself when he was a kid. So it was like from the 50s.
Oh, wow.
So it's a lever action cowboy gun, but it's a 22. So I'd sit on my back deck and just pa, pa, pa. And it was fucking dope. But then like one time I didn't kill one on the first shot, which I was like, I'm a pretty good shot. Not great, but I'm pretty good. And I didn't kill one on the first shot. And I had to like go over and like put it down, and that changed my whole opinion on killing animals.
Damn.
I'll fish now, but I don't. It's kind of the same with fishing. Like if you're gonna fish to eat, like the best time to like fillet a fish is when it's still alive, so it like doesn't set up. So I've like skinned fish alive, and you can like throw them back in the water and they'll swim away and shit. It's pretty not cool. What the People are gonna fucking hate me now. They're gonna think I'm a monster. They're gonna be like, no wonder he hates serial killer shows.
Yeah, this
so
motherfucker,
much.
he just had this TikTok a week ago, like all like they're all, oh, look at him with the wheelchair, and now he's coming on, and he's fucking like, I skin fish alive, and I throw him back in the water.
And they fucking swim away, dude. They're still.
Well, I would hope so. I would hope they're not dumb enough to be like, yeah, keep me, man.
No, I would just think they would die, but they don't. Like they literally like it's
yeah.
like their skin and shit's just gone, and they're like, oh, whatever. But then they die. They're not alive for very long. But
Yeah, it's probably like a shock thing, you know.
Probably.
Just like, what the fuck? Like, it's like, imagine if I came in right now and just skinned your arm.
Yeah, dude.
Like you would flail around a little bit, be like, what my arm? My arm is gone.
Fucking 7 years ago, I'm not sure. It's actually 7 years ago was my first and only to this point flesh hook body suspension. So like that's the only reason I say that. So I had like hooks put through my skin, and then I got hung up by a tree.
God damn. Since you're in town, you need to link with my friend Jacob the Freak.
I remember you telling me about him on the 420 podcast.
Yeah,
I definitely am. And I started watching the episode you guys did together, the most recent one.
Yeah. He's a cool guy. So he has his own podcast called Moist Monday. Really good. I highly recommend it. Him and Rob are hilarious. I've had them both on the podcast. But Jacob, he's talked about like suspension too, like hook suspension, do that kind of thing.
It was hook suspension, flesh hook suspension is like this thing that it scares a lot of people, but it's like fucking.
I've heard it's actually not that bad.
It's really not. If you get over the initial shock of having like huge fucking needles put through you, and then you just do it, it just makes your skin feel tight. I don't know.
No big deal.
Like, because I had two in each, or I had one in each shoulder on my back, one in each bicep, and then one in each forearm. So I had 6 hooks. The back 2 were 4 gauge, and the rest were 6. So they're pretty big needles and hooks and shit that they had to run through. But when I would like had the hooks in, if I like moved my arms together, it like was just really tight. It was weird. It was a very like euphoric. I passed out for a little bit, and the guy like lifted my head up, and he's like, "If you don't stay awake, I'm gonna have to put you down." And I was like, "No, I'm fine." And I've got like a picture. It just got shared on Facebook. That's the only reason I know it was 7 years ago. Is because it was 7 years ago yesterday. But there's a picture where I'm actually swinging, and you can see where my shoes are, and I'm like way off the ground. But like, I don't know. I'm just a fucking weirdo.
Goddamn, dude.
I don't know if I could do it again.
You.
I want to do it again, but I like don't know if I can. I'm not in the same mindset that I was.
It's good stuff, man.
I have not actually. I like took a little tiny sip of this, but I haven't really tried it. In case anyone's curious, I'm gonna block the name out because we're not sponsored. Unnamed Kiwi Craft Brewed Soda, 100 milligrams of THC.
Legal THC.
It is about the shit in Marshalltown, Iowa. From a guy on the corner of the street. Just kidding. It was at a vape shop, but been so much funnier if
it was legal though.
It is legal.
I bought it in the corner, but
here's my favorite thing though. They sell it. I literally bought this in Marshalltown, so I know I bought it here legally, but it definitely says California.
That was probably like when they first they were like, fuck it, we'll just because a lot of that stuff. Well, but I know it's interesting because in Iowa, it's really fucked up. The legal weed market in Iowa. We had Marco. I can never pronounce his last name. Marco Battaglia. Yeah. Who's the Rick Stewart who we were talking about before?
Yep.
He's his vice. He's running mate. I had him on the podcast, and he was talking about how the legal weed market in Iowa has been monopolized by one company, and that's due to Kim Reynolds just saying like this one company is the only company that's allowed to disperse these legal marijuana products, which is fucked up.
Fuck Kim Reynolds.
Fuck Kim Reynolds.
Make sure all the cameras get that. Bitch gets a fucking DUI and then's like, you know what Iowa needs? Drive-through liquor stores.
Right?
But fuck weed.
Right? Oh my God. That was pissing me off so much during COVID. Like, motherfuckers are getting thrown in jail for a joint. And then motherfuckers were also probably driving by somebody getting arrested by the cops with a fucking like, fucking vodka Sprite in a cup, fucking sipping it on the way home.
What's a cop gonna do? Ask you to taste your drink when they pull you over? Like my cousin used to tell me how he always got away with it by like having a 7-Eleven cup, and then he would just like pour shots into it and mix it up.
Oh yeah,
and like just be driving, fucking drinking and shit, and no one ever like stopped him and was like, "Let me try your fucking Sprite that's in there." Like, no one cares. I fucking do not drive good stoned though, so that's like my big bugaboo. I did take a little sip out of the dad glass of that one, so we'll see what happens. If I have to, I'll just fucking park on the street and Uber.
We'll figure it out, man. We'll get you home.
I'll be like, babe, please come pick me up. I'm too high. And she's like, I'm too high. What are you talking about? I go, as I'm leaving the fucking apartment we just moved into, I like am walking out and I'm like, just so you know, like just because I'm not home, we don't have the rule that like if I don't smoke, she can't smoke. but it's just kind of a mutual respect that if we're like not together, one of us, if one of us can't, we both won't. It's just like a respect thing that we have together.
Oh, that's nice.
And so I was like walking out and I go, hey babe, just so you know, like if you want, she had a rough day. I was like, if you want to take a couple edibles, like chill out, eat some snacks, fucking watch a movie, like that's totally fine. She goes, already ahead of you.
Huh.
I didn't want to disappoint you. And I was like, nice. Time to fucking keep her.
Yeah, I am not that mature, so I. Molly's a very the assistant / slave of the podcast. She's a very.
Yeah, where's Jamie at today?
She's working.
That sucks.
But she's she's generally a very sober person. Like she just doesn't she doesn't have anything against it. Just personally, just doesn't regularly like to intoxicate herself at all.
See, and
so I have a hack in that way.
I'm like, it kind of sucks because I really partied hard with alcohol like in high school, and so I kind of got out. I got burnt out on drinking by the time I was like 18.
That's not necessarily a bad thing though, honestly.
And it's not. The bad side is that then I'm always the fucking DD. Like these two little like half fucking quarter glasses of scotch I had is probably the most I've drank in like 6 months.
Wow.
Well, I guess that's a lie. I was just at a wedding where I was fucking hammered like 2 weeks ago.
6 months, except that one time, and this one.
I just Bert Kreischer the shit out of that. Because he just did that the other day. He's like, I'm 2 weeks sober. Except for last Saturday. I was drinking with Leanne on her birthday.
Dude, that guy's going to die, man. That's gonna like, we're going to have a day within the next 5 to 10 years where there's a rift in the podcast world because Bert Kreischer finally fucking kicked the bucket because that motherfucker won't take care of himself.
I love Bert. I love Bert so much. Like,
he's all right. His laugh gets very annoying.
He fucking, but you know when he laughs supersonically that it's the funniest joke that's ever been told.
Okay, the Kool-Aid bit
was fucking hilarious.
No, it's stupid. I've watched that like fucking 10 times. I'm like, I do not get why this is so funny. This is so fucking stupid. Yeah, he has all this Kool-Aid. Big fucking whoop-de-doo. Why are they laughing about it for 2 fucking minutes straight? Who cares?
Ugh, fuck.
Sorry, that's scotch. That's the scotch.
You just fucking punch me. And I'm like, I didn't do fucker. I just brought up Bert. Get
out of my house.
No, dude. And I'm like kind of purely on like a podcast kick right now where I like only am listening to podcasts. So I listen to a lot of like funny podcasts, and like Two Bears is just an easy go to. Your Mom's House. I mean,
Mom's House is good.
I got a really dark sense of humor. So like I need that like dark, edgy sense of humor.
Fuck yeah.
But then I'm also just an innocent, small little child. And so if you ever need like just a bring me up podcast to like chill out to in the morning, highly recommend Dispatches from Myrtle Beach. It's made by I'm a big fan of Good Mythical Morning and like Rhett and Link. I don't know if you're like familiar with them.
I'm familiar. Yeah, I haven't really listened to their stuff.
I mean, I'm 100% a mythical beast. I wake up. That is my daily routine. I wake up and I turn on the first episode or the new episode of GMM every day. Like that's just anytime they do something, if they do like a pay-per-view show, I pay to watch it. Like I'm a big fan. And they made a podcast where it's Link and his dad called Dispatches from Myrtle Beach. And it's just like, it's very wholesomely funny. And that's like something me and my woman watched or listen together in the morning on Thursdays when it comes out. We listen to it on our way to work and just kind of vibe and have fun listening to it because it's always funny stories. His dad's super Southern and has like this really thick, like he says, they had a thing where it's like, Dad, say these words. And the one was quesadilla and he's like, quesadilla. And it's just so wholesomely funny to me that I'm like, this is... So I've got this really dark side of funny for Your Mom's House. And then I watch Rhett and Link, which was really funny because Rhett and Link were on Your Mom's House one time. And it's like this PG family show meets this like almost X-rated. It was fucking awesome. I don't mean to talk about other people's podcasts.
I was gonna say promoting other people's podcasts on my podcast, motherfucker.
Hey,
no, I'm kidding. No, it's like I was looking at my playlist today. I have 40 episodes in my queue that I have yet to listen to. It's a problem. I don't know. I've been listening to more music, watching more movies. It's kind of weird. Because I was on like a podcast kick for like fucking 2-3 years straight, and now like I'm kind of fizzing into like a in between stage. It's weird.
So if you're on a movie kick, do you have a go-to movie that like is like your comfort movie?
No, honestly, with movies, I have a really hard time like being able to focus the entire. That's something I've noticed as I've got into editing and video productions. Like my retention to watch a 2.5 hour movie is like gone. If it's a 90-minute movie, 90-minute movie, I can maybe finish it in one setting, but like I always pass out. I turned on Chinatown the other day, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. I passed out. I fucking woke up right when he was like, Jake, it's Chinatown. I was like, God fucking damn it.
I've never seen it.
God damn, dude.
I just watched The Goonies for the first time like a month ago.
What? I always get the Goonies. I have not seen the Goonies. I've seen Gremlins. I have not seen the Goonies.
See, Goonies, it was, and then everybody's like, when they find out that I hadn't watched it until like 2 weeks ago, they're like, well, what'd you think of it? And I'm like, it was overhyped. And it just pisses every single person off because that's like...
Because we're adults.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's a movie that's held on such high regard of being one of the best movies of all time. And it was good, but it just, to me, it like everybody going, oh my God, you got to see the Goonies. Oh my God, you got to. And then I finally watch it and I'm like, I mean, it was good, but I wouldn't put it in my like top 10 by any means. And I've got a very eclectic, weird top 10 movies.
Yeah. There gets to a point where like, the cult classics, the staple movies, like there are plenty of those that I haven't seen, but it's like I've heard everything about it. I know like going into it, it's not going to be as good as like, because there's a lot of nostalgia on those movies. Like I imagine the Goonies is not that good. The only reason I would watch the Goonies is for Sean Astin,
which I don't know. It was just. It held up to what I thought it was going to be, but it didn't blow me away like I thought it was going to. On the other hand, the movie that fucking blew me away that I didn't expect to was No Country for Old Men.
Ooh, that's literally, dude, top 5 for me. That's my such a good fucking movie. Oh my God.
It's my number one.
That's your number one?
That's my number one.
Oh, that's a good choice, man. It's a good fucking choice.
That was...
Oh my God.
No Country for Old Men fucking blew me away, and it had no right to be as good as it was because it's like a cowboy. It felt like something that I could sit down and watch with my grandpa, who was a farmer, and he would love and I would love at the same time. It felt like it was a generational hop because one, gosh, what are their names? The brothers.
Coen Brothers.
The Coen Brothers.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The way they
amazing.
shot that movie was fucking just immaculate. I don't think that movie could have been any better. The only thing I didn't like is the ending with like the hotel scene, which in case anybody's not seen the movie, I'm not going to spoil it, but like...
Just go ahead and spoil it. It's fucking 15 years after the fact. Get over it, dude.
Where like you really don't have... You remember the scene where like they pull up to the hotel and like the main character's dead and you don't see any of it happen.
Yeah, but then it goes back and you have the screws with the pennies or the coins, just like in the beginning, or that were not in the beginning, like in the middle when because he did that to get the. I can't remember. It's been a minute since I've seen it, but like they do that to get to the like the vents. It's like it's an intricate part of the movie. And then Tommy Lee Jones goes into the hotel room and he sees the dime and the vent taken out. So that's the genius of the movie, is that you never really know. Like it's very indefinitive, but like that's kind of the whole point of the movie. It's because the Tommy Lee Jones character retires. Mm-hmm. And like that's a main central theme of the movie. It's like he kind of retired and just kind of let it go. And like in the dream, like the dreams, I don't remember exactly how it goes, but it's like he sees his dad on a horse and he sees everything on a horse. Yeah. And it implies that like he's kind of just like a stationary figure, and all these crazy things happen and life goes on.
Yeah.
And like this whole instance of No Country for Old Men, that's what caused him to get retired. Like, it's fucking beautiful.
That movie's fantastic.
You have to watch it like 5 times to get everything, man. And every piece of it is just perfect. Such a good
one
movie.
Of those movies. I think I've actually only watched it like twice because it's so good that I don't. It's kind of like Pulp Fiction in a way. I can only watch Pulp Fiction like every once in a while because it's one of my favorite movies.
That was my favorite movie for like 5+ years. And I'm at the point now where I can't watch it because I've seen it so many times. I'll just get bored. I'll be like, yeah, well, this happened.
I had that big problem where I watched it too many times with A Clockwork Orange.
That's another great movie.
Stanley Kubrick is just fucking...
Oh, he was... God, dude. It's too bad he died when... Well, it's weird. He kind of died like probably at the best in terms of like his film career.
Yeah.
Like he probably died at the best point, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, Eyes Wide Shut is a great movie, but he was kind of getting that point in age where like if he had kept going, and that was his first movie in like what, probably like 5+
It was something kind of
years
weird.
or something like that. Yeah.
I watched that movie.
He took long breaks, you know.
Yeah. Because I'd always wanted to see it, and I'd never seen it. And my fiance's stepdad is a huge movie person. And so, like, in the course of, like, 3 days, we watched Natural Born Killers.
I haven't seen it.
Train Spotting.
Great. Fucking, that's another one of my favorites.
Train Spotting's fucking phenomenal.
Oh, it's a fantastic
And A Clockwork
movie.
Orange. We watched all those in 2 days. And so I saw these, like, 3 just fucking absolutely fantastic movies back to back to back. And then we were living with one of my buddies at the time, and he had never seen Clockwork Orange. So I was like, let's watch it. And I watched it again with him, and then I went and watched it with somebody else who had never seen it. And then I burnt myself on, because that's a graphic movie for the 70s. I mean, that's a graphic movie by today's standards.
Yeah, dude. Well, there were riots over that. Like there was actually like a rise in like break-in rapes when that movie came out. And there was a whole like that, because I'm trying to remember the timeline. Kubrick had to like completely change his tone on filmmaking because he got so much heat for Clockwork Orange. It was such a crazy movie.
Cool little bit about that. My fiance's stepdad saw that for the first time after he lived in Czechoslovakia while it was an illegal banned movie there. He saw it.
Oh, wow.
So he saw it in the midst of like a lot of shit going, because it's not illegal now. It would have been like in the 90s, early 2000s, but it was still illegal. It's kind of like in the realm of like Serbian film. Like Serbian film's banned in a lot of countries.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I own it on Blu-ray.
Do you really?
I'll show you the copy when we're done.
That's the only movie I've ever seen I couldn't watch a second time.
No, I refuse to ever watch it again. It's like me and Molly have had the debate, or not the debate, but we've had the conversation. Like, you know, if we have kids, we're gonna have to get rid of that movie. You know, it's so bad.
But if you pay it, the way they went about it is so shitty. But like the message behind the fucking movie is actually a pretty solid, like, because it's basically talking about how the fucking government of Serbia fucks you from the time you're born to the time you die.
Oh, is that the aspect of it? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't pick up on that. I thought it was like like from what I read, the director is like a response to a lot of the, well, the government, but also like a lot of like the censorship and stuff. Like he was just trying to go like this really extreme, crazy way.
Yeah.
And it didn't really pan out. But, you know, I think, and people will hate me for saying this, but I think it's actually a better movie than people give it credit for. It is interesting in a way.
It is. It's just the graphic nature of movie.
It's problematic because it's such a problem, but like also it's like it's the precipice of it. So like you have to give it some recognition, because it's like this is like one of the worst movies ever created.
It's kind of like, so I really fucking hate, like, I'm a big horror movie fan. Same. And I hate when people use the whole like, hey, I need a good horror movie to watch. What should I watch? And somebody says Serbian film, which I truthfully don't encourage many people to watch that. You have to be
I wouldn't either.
You have to be in like, because of the graphic, like it's actually X-rated, isn't it? If you watch the director's cut. Dude. I watched the director's cut at 16 on fucking YouTube.
God damn, dude.
So
I watched it like last year.
No, yeah. Because I was obsessed with shock movies.
Yeah.
So like I saw like all the Human Centipede stuff like that. But what I was getting at is like people would be like, I want a good horror movie to watch. And they say like the Serbian film or like Cannibal Holocaust. And like
wasn't a good movie.
I've never actually seen Cannibal Holocaust.
It's okay.
I know there was
the worst part. They like eat a turtle. Like they take a turtle and they like split it open. They like go through all the like and you could tell it's like really happening. Like these savages are. And
that was actually something that like is a big problem with that movie, is that like they were really cruel to like their staff and like the animals on set, and like they actually like killed a bunch of animals. Mm-hmm. And so it's like
motherfuckers got arrested over that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, is that the one that Charlie Sheen like called the police on because he thought it was a genuine snuff film?
I don't know. I've never heard that.
Yeah, Charlie Sheen was watching some fucking crazy movie and he thought it was a genuine snuff film, and he like called the police and like tried to alert him on it. The crazy thing about Cannibal Holocaust though is they really tried to play that like it was real. So all of the actors that are in that had to go in hiding for like a year until the movie released.
Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I guess I can't verify
Not
that.
worth it.
I've heard that. I've heard that as a rumor, and that's why everybody thought it was a real fucking snuff film, is because they just, all these people all of a sudden like disappeared, and then this movie comes out where like everybody's like being like killed and eaten.
Yeah. So Molly is really into like the shock value type of stuff. So me and her have seen a lot of that. When we first started dating, we watched Cannibal Holocaust. And like the like quote unquote cannibalism is so fake, it's not even scary. Like the worst part is literally when like the quote unquote savages or whatever like just rip apart this turtle and just start like eat, like they just start ripping out like their intestines and like
that's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's insane. You're watching like, what the fuck?
See, and then so I saw what's the one that's like Cannibal Holocaust, but it's not. Green Inferno.
You know, I actually saw it in theater and I left because it was such a bad movie.
I saw it in theaters, and it was literally me, one of my buddies, and then a mutual friend of ours that was a girl, and then there was one other guy that was sitting in front of us, and that dude literally got up and threw up and then walked out. And I'm like, this is the most pussy shit cannibal movie I've ever seen in my life. You little fucking soft ass kid, get out of here. It's like not even bad. Like the worst part is like my favorite part of that movie is like, you know the scene when they're like in the cage and like the kid reaches in, he's got the snake.
I don't remember. I watched like the first 10 minutes. Maybe.
Fuck. So you probably don't even like. So that was like a thing in it. Is this kid has like a snake at one point, and he like reaches in and like puts it in the person's face, and it's a baby boa constrictor. And I've like bred boa constrictors before, so like I'm just like that's like the most placid snake on earth that you're like trying to make scary, and it was so funny. I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
Did you ever? What's the other? You ever seen Antichrist?
Yes.
That was the first time I ever saw Willem Dafoe's dick and went, God damn, dude, sounds like that dick looks like it makes an audible bump.
When she cuts off her clit, I think that is the worst thing I've ever seen on a movie.
But what about when she smashes his dick and then jerks him off and he shoots a load of blood out?
Oh, that part, yeah, dude. I literally reached for my crotch at that point.
Oh, dude, I was like, just fucking that movie's fucking nuts too. That was one that I also watched when I was like 16.
God damn. Yeah, dude. Fuck. You know, we should have a fucking double date and just do like just find some fucking fucked up movies and just.
Did you ever see that the movie Sinister is scientifically the scariest movie of all time?
Really?
Yeah.
It is a pretty scary movie.
It's a pretty intense movie because you really never know where it's going. One of the movies that fucked me up the most watching it was I think it's Dark Skies. Dark Skies.
Never seen it.
It's like an alien movie, and that movie also really fucked up my sister when we watched it. Worse than God did when she was born. I'm sorry, Harley. I love you. One time this kid was roasting me, and he goes, I'm gonna fuck your sister until she can't walk. And I was like, God did that when she was born.
That came in clutch, right?
Yeah, dude.
Hey, thanks for not being able to walk. That helped me in that.
She laughed so hard when I told her that too, because she like knew the kid that said it, and she's like, what a fucking idiot. My sister's a savage.
You know, that's great though. It always kind of brings me joy when people who have a disadvantage are able to laugh about it.
Yeah, dude.
You know,
and her big thing always has been, I talk to her a very distinct way. And if this ever gets clipped up and put on TikTok and somebody sees it, they're gonna be like, man, he's such a caring brother. And I'm like, yeah, fucking Wheels is just she's in a fucking realm all her own, dude. But she's like literally she's like one of the coolest people, like just in general. Like she goes to concerts. That was why they went down to fucking Texas, was they went and saw Lady Gaga. So like they flew to Texas just to see Lady Gaga.
She got front row seats, I'm guessing.
Dude,
right?
Her friend fucking danced with her.
Oh, wow.
The one with OI danced with Lady Gaga. There's a video of it. I also posted that on TikTok, but whatever. That one didn't get 300,000 views. I was like, here's the happy ending to this shit show. And they're like, no.
They don't care about the happy ending. They just want the drama.
Negative. Everybody's in such a fucking negative mindset all the time. And I'm like, you need to watch more people get fucking chopped up in movies or something. The real horrors.
You think that'll solve the world's problems? Just send everybody a copy of Serbian film, and
I think if everybody watched some of the fucked up movies that are out there, and then they were like, "Oh, now I know what I can actually complain about."
Fuck. What about even 12 Years a Slave? Have you seen that movie?
Is that the Italian movie?
No. Like 2010, I think.
Oh fuck no.
Steve McQueen, the director.
Okay.
That's it. He did that movie, and fuck. Who's the guy from Black Panther who just died?
Chadwick something.
Maybe that guy. I think I'm probably wrong on this, but I think it's him that stars in that. But that's a fucked up movie. I mean, watching how so this guy, he's a black man in America, amidst the Civil War and all that, or right before it, and he gets scammed into this thing, and these people from the South capture him, and make him a slave, and he did that for 12 years, a free man, free in the North. They went over to the North, captured, they would do that.
Oh fuck!
So this whole movie is just it's just a portrait of what happened to him for 12 years.
That's fucking nuts.
It's crazy, man.
I was thinking, it's 24 something. It's 24 something, and then I think it's Sodom is the end of it.
Oh, I know. I can't think of the name. I know what movie you're talking about, but I haven't seen it. But they eat shit. That's the thing that's crazy about it.
Yeah, and it's not on the realm of Pink Flamingo, which was directed by.
I want to see that one too.
Because that's John Waters, right?
Yeah, I heard they're actually putting it on Blu-ray.
If they do, that's one of those that I haven't seen, and then I haven't seen.
I want to.
I swear it's 24 Days of Sodom or something like that.
Yeah, 12 or 18 or something. Yeah, Sodom. Yeah, I know what movie you're talking about.
And then there's a movie from the 70s or 80s, I think, that's called Caligula, and it's another one that's supposed to be really shock value. And I looked that one up on YouTube when I was probably 18 and tried to watch it, and it was so fucking boring. I'm like, this sucks. This is worse than Human Centipede 3, which is the worst in the trilogy.
Dude, me and Molly just watched that one too, and oh my god.
That when he's eating the fucking bowl full of clits. They're candied clits from Africa, and he's like, they make you strong. And he's just forcing himself to eat them.
Dude,
oh, fuck.
That movie was literally just Tom Six jerking himself off. That was the entire movie. That was just I'm just gonna fuck it. I got a movie. I got money for a third movie. Let's fucking burn this shit and fucking go down with the ship. That was so that movie. Stupid
because if you listen to Tom Six as a director, he sounds kind of intelligent.
Interesting.
He sounds like he's actually knows what he's doing, what he's talking about, and the image of how he came up with the idea of the Human Centipede series was that there was a child predator, and he was like, man, that dude should be stitched to a trucker's asshole and forced to eat his shit. And that's how he came up with the idea for the Human Centipede. And he always knew that he was going to do 3 because there's 3 people in the original Centipede. Dude, my sister won't even remotely watch that movie. She I sent her a meme one time because she's super big on Reese's peanut butter cups, and it's the scene where they're all stitched together, and it says there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. And she's like that. She literally almost threw up.
God damn, dude.
I love fucking. I feel in a way like Bill Burr because I like to make people uncomfortable in certain situations. So I know she's not gonna like it, but I'm gonna send it to her and then I'm gonna laugh at her reaction.
Dude, I feel like you should be the co-host on this podcast. I love making people uncomfortable. That's my forte.
The thing about making people uncomfortable is it's so easy. I can read people pretty well and get kind of a gauge of how they're gonna react to certain shit, and then I'll just say something really off color, and they'll be like, and then when they don't know how to answer it, and then I have the higher ground. I was trying to think of a way to say that. That didn't sound like Star Wars, but I have the higher ground now.
It's a trap!
I control the conversation from that point.
Let me ask you this. What do you think of the newer Star Wars movies? Give me an opinion on that.
trash.
Thank you.
First three.
Thank you.
Okay.
If you said they were good, I was about to kick you out. In the podcast.
So I actually just watched all of the Star Wars movies for the first time. Well, I'd seen like the first and second one, and then I'd seen
leave, get out, guys. The podcast is over. Jesus Christ, dude.
I grew up in a very non-movie family.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, I didn't really get into movies until like later on in life. I love that this is like turned into just talking movies, and you know what movies I'm talking about too.
Dude, I'm so glad I had you on. This is after all the shit with Field Trip. This is the fucking podcast I needed. So thank you. Keep going. Yes. Go forever.
So,
man.
Star Wars. I just watched all of the Marvel movies, all of the Star Wars movies, and all of the Lord of the Rings movies. All of them over last winter. And Star Wars, I'd seen like the original 3, and then I'd seen like one of the newer ones. I'd seen Phantom Menace, and then like the first and second one, like in the realm of like release date, not storyline. So I got really fucking stoned, and we watched all of them. We'd watch 2 a day. So it took 3 days. We watched the first 2, and we watched them in storyline order, actually. Which is probably not the best way to do it.
Dude, that's the worst way.
But
it's the worst way you could watch those. God damn it, dude. It always fucking pisses me off when people are like, yeah, I watch Star Wars. I start with the Phantom Menace. Like, the Phantom Menace? One of the worst ones in the fucking series?
Is that Jar Jar? Or is Jar Jar?
Yes, it's Jar Jar.
God damn it.
That abomination of a fucking...
I didn't even like Star Wars when that was going on, and I fucking hate Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, fuck Jar Jar Binks.
Do you know what I did? One big thing I noticed about the Star Wars movies as I watched them, though, is I preferred them so much more with practical effects. When they started getting into the CGI shit, and it started getting too... It was almost like it was too fake. You could tell how fake it was based off of it, and I didn't like that. I liked Yoda being a fucking puppet that his mouth barely moved in the first, like... When you first see him, he like is this fucking stiff hand puppet that doesn't move, and that was so good. And then by the time like that, the second set of 3, the second trilogy comes out, and Phantom Menace and all that happens, and then he's just doing backflips and shit. I'm like, this is too fake.
Yeah, dude, for real. You know, back in the day before like the Disney Star Wars and all that, there was actually like you could find online. There was a cut of all 3 movies where they like merged both like the practical effects and like the special effects into a version that was like remastered, but actually remastered and still like authentic.
Yeah.
Fuck, I wish I still had that version, dude.
What?
It's good shit.
It's really crazy. So my mom and my uncle, or it'd be my mom and my cousin, were born 2 days apart. Because my mom's sister was 20 years older than her. So my mom was born April 24th. He was born the 26th. Same year. And so he saw all the Star Wars movies in theaters as they were releasing.
God damn it. That's crazy, dude. Hey, I think we're gonna take a break. The dog has interrupted the podcast, but we'll be back. We'll do a couple things and wrap it up. All right. You're talking to one of the whitest motherfuckers ever.
I didn't know how to act now that you bleached your hair either. I saw you and I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot.
I like to keep people on edge.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
I like to edge people, too.
God damn it. God damn it, dude. Well, fuck. We've already been we're almost at 2 hours, believe it or not. We've been going for a fuck. Fuck yeah. I know. Like I said before, man, I fucking love having you on. I love that this has been a good reset from the, you know, fuck off, dude. Fuck off. Here I am trying to be all sentimental and shit. And you're all fucking...
You only like me because of my tongue, just like my wife. Let's do the fucked up bucket. I'm excited because I'm not stoned and I can understand what's happening this time.
I will warn you, this is the same bucket that canceled my episode that I was about to upload, so there aren't very many left either. So
let's get one. I'm going bottom barrel. Bottom barrel. What do we got? The guy who gets his tubes tied and never tells anyone just so he can catch up on who's cheating on him. I fucking love that idea.
That's a great idea,
dude. That's
a lifetime commitment, but
one, because I've thought about getting snipped.
Me too.
Because like I like I have a lifestyle that I like to live. Not even the music side, not any of it. Like, we haven't talked about music at all, dude, and that's good because I fucking am not even making music currently.
I love it, man. I fucking love it.
No matter if I'm making music or not, I'm gonna be King Serp, and I like that lifestyle. So, me and the old lady have talked about just being what we call dinks, dual income, no kids, and just fucking because I like expensive stuff, whether it's shoes, cars. I fucking carry a purse, and it's a designer brand purse.
You carry, like, for real? You carry a purse? Damn, dude.
Coach.
You know, you can call it a European handbag.
Nah, dude, it's a fucking purse. Anytime somebody's like, "Oh, can I call it a merce?" I'm like, "You can just call it a purse, dude." Whatever. I'm comfortable.
Well, I'm glad you're comfortable. That's that shows a lot.
It kind of pulls into what I said before. I don't know if we were recording or not. I'm just unapologetically me all the time. And so, like, I just got tired of stuff being in my pockets, and I'm like, I'm gonna carry a fucking purse. And that leads into dude, that's a fucking genius idea. Like, if you're worried that someone's cheating on you, because I always love the joke of, like, girl comes up and tells her husband that she's pregnant, didn't know that he's, like, been infertile his whole life. And I'm like, fuck you. And then he, like, what if he, like, didn't say anything and, like, the baby came out, like, a different race?
Dude, that's like have you seen the band Skills commercials?
Yeah, dude, my favorite is the one where it's their wedding night and they're fucking and he pulls his dick out and jerks off and shoots Skittles all over.
Dude, that's funny shit. The other one that was good that I was thinking of is like when the baby comes out and it's a Reese's. And they're like, what? And then it's like a black guy comes in, he's like, oh, this is my baby.
I saw a fucking meme the one time where
too funny, man.
It was this thing, and it was like a red crayon and a yellow. It was a political cartoon. It was a red crayon and a yellow crayon at the ER, and the yellow crayon's like the mom and has a baby, and it comes out green. And then it's the red crayon calling his blue friend, who's like, "We gotta talk." And I just fucking think that's funny. There's an appropriate time and an inappropriate time to laugh at dark humor. And, like, as long as you're not, like, genuinely, like, stabbing at somebody, I feel like anything should be able to be funny, as long as you're understanding that it's so funny because it's not funny, if that makes sense. Kind of like that. Like, I'm not saying it'd be funny if, like, somebody had a baby that was, like, not the same race. That's not funny. But it's so not funny that it is. Like, you're like, that would suck, but that would also be kind of funny.
Well, the context matters, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if you're... I think what the rule comes down to is, like, if you're, like, directly harming someone or not. All right, I'm so sorry. We got to break again. This dog.
I think I'm a cat person, honestly.
I am not a cat person. We have the cat on the one condition that Molly cleans the litter box.
That's my least favorite thing about cats.
Dude, fuck the litter box. I will let a dog create a mountain of shit outside before pooping once in a box in the house.
One time to trip my friend out, I pissed in his cat's litter box.
Dude, who wouldn't, man? I had a friend who was like fucking like hoarder level type, just would not clean her house, like, because she was depressed and stuff. And like she had she had 5 cats in this house.
Jesus Christ. I had 4 at one point, and that's too many.
Or no, I guess it was 4. Because the legal limit for pets in Des Moines, I think, is 5. And she was at that limit.
Is that just for mammals?
Yeah.
Or like big animals?
Yeah, I think so.
That's
I think so.
Cool.
I
don't know why that was funny.
But anyways, she like had 2 litter boxes, just like literally just mountains of poop.
Dude, that's gross.
Like you would like, I wouldn't be able to be in her house for more than like 15-20 minutes at a time.
Dude, we had 4. We had 4 cats, and we had I think the rule is you're supposed to have 1.5 litter boxes per cat per room of your house.
What?
Yeah. So like if you've got 2 cats, you're supposed to have 4 litter boxes. Or like something like that. Something fucking crazy. And we had 4 cats, and we had 4 litter boxes. There was 2 in the basement, and then 1 upstairs in like a spare closet, and then 1 in my mom's office because she works from home.
Dude, fuck that. What, those spoiled bitches get fucking that many bathrooms? People don't even get that many bathrooms. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm honestly, on that note, I'm tired of fucking there being less bathrooms than bedrooms in houses. What if I have to shit in my girlfriend's pissin'? Like, what if we both get food poisoning and one of us has to choose to shit in the shower?
As the sinks are for, man.
Dude, I definitely believe that pissing in a sink is the most effective way to piss.
Okay, you have to explain that. Why is that the most effective way to piss?
Because then you're not wasting water. You just piss in the sink, and then like you wash your hands in the sink. You wash your hands, and that flushes all the piss down the sink. I'm not like saying like plug it and like letting it build up.
Jesus.
Leave the drain open on the sink. Get that little dick out.
What's the worst place that you've pissed?
Worst place I've pissed, dude. Truthfully, I was fishing one time, and I caught this really nice bass, and I just like pissed on. I'm kidding. No, I was fishing though, and I was just like had to pee, and I was like, I'm just gonna step over into this bush, and then I fucking got bit up by like no-see-ums or chiggers. Chiggers is such a hard word to say because it gets misinterpreted, but I got chiggers on my piece. Like had like bug bites on the tip of my peener. Ooh. When I was like fucking 12.
Goddamn, dude.
I was so bad it swole up. I had to go to the doctor.
Ooh. Goddamn, dude. That sucks.
So, don't recommend pissing in strange bushes.
Yeah. Goddamn. Well, so when I was at camp, when I did summer camp, they always talked about something called Giardia. Mm-hmm. And they always told you that if you piss in a lake, it could crawl up your stream.
Yeah, because there's like those fish, dude, fucking in like the Amazon River. And they're attracted to uric acid.
Well, not in the Amazon River, just in like,
is it everywhere? Because I've always heard of it like in the Amazon, because like there was like a guy that bled out because one crawled up and he like caught it. And it was like, they're like really skinny fish. Maybe we're thinking different things.
Maybe.
But they have like, they're really skinny fish and they'll swim up your piss hole. And then they have like sharp plates on their gills.
Yeah, so definitely not that. Giardia is like a disease where like you are in the pot forever, basically.
Whack.
Yeah,
that's just my daily life.
I've never had it, but I've heard it's awful.
It's probably not fun. You know how I know that? Because I'm allergic to milk and I refuse to stop eating cheese products. And so I'm just...
For real?
I be shitting, dude.
So you don't like break out or anything though? You just
no, dude.
Your digestion just gets fucked up.
I'll like get hives and stuff, but like mac and cheese is like my favorite food.
Dude, you know what? I'm glad that you finally moved to the Des Moines area because now we can fucking hang out.
Dude,
man.
I'm so stoked.
Fuck
Not
yeah.
only am I closer to like all of my friends, fucking even like my friends from high school, like moved up this way. So like it's really ironic because
dude, it's the move. It's the move.
I fucking put in. We just moved up to this apartment over in the Ankeny area, and when I was like going in to like sign our lease over, they're like, "Hey, do you know Molly such and such?" And I was like, "The name sounds familiar, but I'm not sure." She goes, "You might know her husband, blah blah." And I was like, "Oh yeah, fuck yeah, I know him. Like, we go way back. Like we were friends in like before high school and everything. He's quite a few years younger than me. I think he was a freshman when I was a senior or something like that, but." His mom dated my cousin for a while, so we'd known each other forever. They like live there, and his wife works there, and they saw our application come through, and they're like, "Oh, this is the only Keegan that I know," and I have a very unique name, and I've been very careful about keeping my name secret while I'm like being King Serp, but my name's Keegan. I said it on TikTok. That's got a bunch of views. I don't give a fuck anymore. But I have a very unique name. My name's so unique, it's my email address. That doesn't happen very often. And so I was like stoked. And yeah, she like apparently works there and saw my application, was like, that has to be the only one. If you look me up on Facebook, I'm the only one you'll find. So I don't know. I don't know where that came from, but having a unique name is kind of awful sometimes. I hate having a unique name.
Yeah. Well, I am named directly after my father. I'm a junior. So
all right.
Yeah. So he was enough of a narcissist to name his first child after himself. So.
Okay, so I got to ask you this because you said junior and it's not where I thought you were going. Are you Jewish?
What about me makes you think I'm Jewish? I mean, I am a cheap fuck. I will give you that. But like,
I don't know.
Besides that,
something earlier you did something, and I was like, man, I wonder if
that's
he's
Jewy. Well, he's doing some really Jewy shit over there.
I wouldn't put it in those terms, but just for some reason, I was like, man, maybe he's Jewish.
No, I'm not Jewish. I'm Irish.
Oh.
It's a McAllister. McAllister is very well. I guess Jewish Irish is a common mix. So that's not.
I don't even remember.
You know.
It might have been when I was like joking about your cat named Lucifer, and I was like, he can sense my satanic cross on me. And I was like, man, maybe this little Jew boy over here.
No, I was
please
raised.
don't cancel me.
Oh, you're too late. You already came on the podcast. You're fucked.
Shit.
That's actually why I have people on, just so like they
Cancel
have their tombstone. It's like the JRE for people, you know. It's like, oh, I was on that. Oh no, bless me. No.
Were you gonna tell me that you were a baptized Catholic? Because I am a baptized Catholic.
I am. Yes, I am. Or no. Actually, I was baptized Lutheran.
Oh,
I converted to Catholicism.
I was a baptized Catholic without my consent.
Yeah, it's usually how it goes. Really,
Stupid.
I grew up Catholic. When I was in high school, I wanted to maybe convert to the Reformed, religious branch, because I had a lot of friends who were Reformed, and I came up to my mother with this. I told her, I'm like, hey, I still believe in God. I didn't really, but I was put.
But you can't say that.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I've been there.
So I told her, I'm like, yeah. I mean, I kind of want to just convert to the Reformed diocese, branch or whatever. And she was like, if you do that, we're not paying for your college.
Oh fuck.
So I stayed a Catholic for another like 5 months. I think in July of 2016 or 15. No, 14. Wow, it's been a minute. 2014, the summer of 2014 is when I stopped going to the Catholic Church.
I was a baptized Catholic. My mom's whole family's super Catholic, and then my dad's side is Quaker.
Ooh, damn.
So
those fuckers are crazy, man.
Yeah. So I went to youth group purely because we went to concerts. So I saw like Skillet and 1,000 Foot Crutch with youth group, and then I wouldn't go to any of the stuff. But they're like, hey Keegs, we're going to Worlds of Fun this weekend. Do you want to go? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll go ride some roller coasters for Jesus.
Dude, you know what though? That's like, I talked about this with that same guy Jacob. Like, I do not give the Catholic Church any credit. The one place I will give them credit is that they are fucking hardcore on their like core. Like, this is not fun. Yeah. This is God. This is God. You should love him. And that's the problem with like the Protestant, Lutheran, Reformed, is they're like, oh hey, we have all these goodies. If you pray to Jesus, we'll give you a roller coaster ride. We'll get like it's totally like an American capitalist market front on religion is essentially what like the Protestant and Lutheran branches of Christianity are.
When I started going to a Quaker fucking youth group, it was the first time I ever made out with a girl.
Yeah, and you hear so many stories like that too, where it's like, these like church people, but then they're like fucking, smoke a pot or fucking or whatever.
Oh, dude. And then it was
which
like
is fine,
hard.
But they don't like that,
Because it sounds really stupid, but like I got really big into the band Suicide Silence.
Yeah.
For a long time, and the first song I ever heard by them was Unanswered, which is like about like people having unanswered prayers and how it's kind of how it's fucked up. And so for the longest time, my mom would be like, you need to go to youth group. And I'm like, I listen to Suicide Silence, Mom. I'm too cool. I was like, what about all these unanswered prayers? Where is your God, Mom? And she'd be like, okay, then you can't go to the concert. And I'm like, God damn, now I gotta go to youth group. Yeah, dude, because I saw Skillet and 1,000 Foot Crutch and Reliant K and like all these dope Christian rock bands. I saw them in concert with youth group. So it was before they were cool radio rock bands. Saw them at the Valor Ballroom.
Yeah, I remember I went to one time. One of the Reformed churches was doing like an overnight thing, and all my friends would go inside. I went, and they had this game of like tag. It was like some like tag like Nerf gun shooting thing. It was weird, but there was a jail. And in order to get out of the jail, you had to recite a scripture, like a passage.
Off the top of your head?
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude.
Yeah. And that's the distinction between like Catholics and, other, Christian. Is like a lot of other Christian, like Lutheran, Protestant, like they're very big on like reciting the passages, like memorizing the passages. And Catholics are more like, all right, here's the big picture. Get it, got it. Good, So I was sitting there like I didn't know anything, and so I got out one time. I recited the one from Pulp Fiction, and the lady was chill enough. It wasn't a real quote, but she was chill enough to be like, "All right, you get out." But then I got back in. I got back in jail, and I was like, "Okay, this is stupid." And I just left.
What was
it's like fuck this shit.
What if you just started like reciting like shit that they didn't like? Like fuck, what's the one?
like about like black people or slaves or whatever, like this is my property, that whole verse.
There's one where it's talking about like if you disown your child, that's as big of a sin as being a non-believer. I can't think of what. Or like if you recite the one of like the kids making fun of the guy because he's bald and he like sends a bunch of bears after him.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
Oh yeah, these like 3 kids make fun of a fucking dude. They call him like bald and stuff like that, and then he prays, and then God sent a she bear and just mauled the whole village.
There's one where it's like if it's this one day you can't strike your slave, but if it's this day you can. Dude,
fucking, I would just memorize.
Strike your slave because it's their property or whatever. Yeah, there's so many fucking bad.
I would just memorize
Bible
all
verses.
of the bad, like contradictory Bible verses, and then they're like, "That's not real," and I'm like, "Look it up." I used to be the worst person to debate religion with because I knew all of those like scriptures of stuff like that because I wanted to be able to combat somebody if they're like, "Well, being a homosexual is against the Bible." And I was like, yeah, well, judging somebody is a big sin. And they're like, well, if I have a son and he's gay, I'm not going to take care of him. And I'm like, well, according to this Bible verse, that makes you as big as being a non-believer. And I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But then there's the one that somebody was like, what's your favorite Bible verse? And I was like, the one where God sends the she-bear to maul a village because they made some fun of somebody being bald. That's my favorite Bible verse of all time. And I wish I could like tell you what it was off the top of my head because somebody told me that didn't exist, and then I proved them wrong, and they were like, "Well, I still don't think that's okay." And I'm like, "Then what? How are you following it?" Like, whatever. How the fuck, dude? I read this one card, and then we go from like this card about getting your nuts clipped to fucking. And then I was like.
That's what I love about this bucket, though. It takes us on weird tangents. It's a good middle end.
Dude, it really is.
Type of thing.
My worst thing is that I definitely can go on tangents that are just way too long. I dig myself into holes.
Yeah. But, I think, obviously there's a balance, but I think, like, a lot of times that is good podcast content. Because, like, when I'm listening to podcasts, I'm at work or I'm doing something,
Yeah.
Like, there's an art to talking to the point where, like, you're kind of almost putting the viewer in like a trance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. Because I listen to mostly podcasts while I work now. Like I said, even though I'm like made it as a rapper, I don't want to say made it, but like people know me for being a rapper. I don't even make music anymore. I don't really listen to music anymore. It's just, I feel like I've evolved as a person, and like now the King Serp name is more of just like a personality type that I have that I can and can't that I can switch on and off and just go from being Keegan to King Serp and moving that all around. This little motherfucking Bambi outside the door again. God damn
it. You want to open that door really quick for her? Just let her. Jesus Christ, this dog.
Come on in, Bambi. Thanks.
She's good now, right?
She's good. She's like,
I hope so.
She's like, I shit on the floor. I ate my supper.
Now I'm gonna go lay in the bed. All right. Yeah, I'm good. God, fucking die already. Jesus. God. No, I'm kidding. I love this dog.
Dude, I fucking love dogs. Read your card before I fucking go on the tangent.
Oh, I love this. The positive to dating someone with stage 4 cancer is that there's an end in sight. Plus, you never have to pay for the haircut.
Plus, to pull their hair, you stick a plunger to their head.
That's way better. That's way better, dude. God damn it.
My girl used to be bald. I always joked about it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Dude, my ex-wife fucking shaved her head one time.
And you're like, I feel like it only fits certain people. Like,
It didn't fit her.
Yeah,
it was
girl's-
just like an attention thing,
no,
you
she's
know?
got a nice shaped head. It's like smooth, no wrinkles. Looks like a nice taut nutsack. That was just a joke, and I hope she hears that.
That's like doing that reveals your true gay feelings, you know?
Yeah. I told her one time that she looked like her brother. I was like, I can tell you and your brother are related. And she like got really self-conscious about it. And I was like, no. Like, I think you're beautiful, but like, I can just tell you're related now that like you have the same length hair as him. And I don't want her to take that negatively because she's amazing. Her brother's a handsome man.
Great, man.
I like to tell her that she's handsome sometimes. pull that out on Molly sometimes. Just be like, you're just such a handsome woman.
Dude,
They either don't like it or they're like, thanks, I guess.
yeah, right. It's one of the two. All right, man. Well, this dog will shut the fuck up, and we're over 2 hours, man. This has been a fucking great podcast.
Hell yeah.
Plug your shit. We'll put it in the description, but just tell people where you can find, where they can find you.
My name is King Serp, King space Serp. You can find me on Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, all your major streaming services if you're into listening to my music. If you're into hearing my messages about ADA advocacy and the rights of disabled people, check me out on TikTok. Tag me in any videos you see of people getting their stuff not taken care of properly, whether it's an airport or like getting treated poorly based off their disability, and I will respond to it. And I want that to be my voice now over being a musician.
And more importantly, subscribe to the Patreon for the McAllister Hours podcast.
You know why? Because if you don't, I'll find you.
If you don't support wheelchair people.
Yeah.
That's the
Fuck you.
wheelchair people. I'm such an awful person. All right, guys. Peace out. We'll be here next time whenever we get to it. All right. Adios.
Bye.
Bambi, what the fuck is your deal, bro? I gave you everything. I took you outside. I gave you food and water. You climbed all the way back up here.
I made love to you.
I basically did.
Those sensual